It truly is a simple step over. There's no gate, no perimeter fence, and you are into a world long forgotten, I guess. Must be something in a region of 17 years this football ground's been abandoned. Good afternoon guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Today's vlog is happening on the bank holiday just after the King's coronation, because I usually upload vlogs on the Saturday. While you're watching this, I'm having a procedure done in hospital, so I thought I'd get this together before then. As you know with me, it's usually a same day upload, so I apologise about that. But anyway, today brings us to the home of the old home of Aylesbury United Football Club. They were evicted from here in 2006, that's 17 years ago, and pretty much this ground has sat here derelict ever since. So let's go and have a look at it. An old terrace roof. See, this is how I used to like my football grounds, standing in there chanting in the terraces. Great old days. Then the seating come along and it just wasn't the same after. Of course, in our time we've all pretty much been to a football ground that's no longer with us, been abandoned, forgotten in time. But the floodlights are still even here. For myself, some of the ones I specifically remember, the same as probably many others, I went to the old Highbury, so it's Arsenal, I went to Spurs, West Ham, Wimbledon, Brighton, Leicester City, Stoke City, Coventry City, Bolton, Man City, Sunderland, and of course the old Wembley. That's probably forgetting one or two, but there's certainly ones that are no longer with us, and the clubs went on to newer, sort of, I don't know, sometimes unatmospheric. These old grounds, they just had something that little bit extra. So what brought me here? It was on my bucket list. Basically, I know of the area. I was born in Aylesbury itself. This is the old Aylesbury United ground on Buckingham Rd. I was born here in 71. Was it Mid-Bucks Hospital? There was no Milton Keynes Hospital at the time, so everyone was born outside the area. I think it was either here or Stoke Mandeville, so Mid-Bucks is where I was born. That's the only reason why I know of the area, and the only thing I have any common ground with Aylesbury itself, so to speak. But this was very much on my bucket list. An old football ground or sports venue. Warehousing, yeah, not so much. I do like an old quarry where you can go underground. And some of the old, as you've seen some of the other stuff I do, it's like your old mansion houses and your castles, churches, chapels, etc. I'm not one of these modern day stuff where people have gone into a house that's been abandoned for a couple of years and there's stuff littered all over the place. Me, it's about this, where nature's taken over and you see where the old world ends and the new world of all the foliage in it, etc. has taken over. But this is truly a fascinating place. Of course, you've got to be very careful in this area, because I'd imagine some of these barriers are probably razor sharp. Some of the things that they've dumped, probably a bit uneven, a bit unsteady, but you make your own way through. If you're silly enough to have an accident, that's your own fault basically. As far as I'm concerned, I've walked through, not climbed any barriers, it's been open, so class it as a free public right of way until otherwise told differently. What is strange is I'm actually walking on something that looks nothing like a pitch, what it would have resembled. I guess the goal area would have been over there where that pile of old concrete is, which probably was originally part of the ground as well. Said the floodlights up the top there. Probably a goal around here as well. And some of the people that scored on this ground, I think it was Peter Beardsley scored 4, Lineker got 1, Watson and Stephen of Everton got the other in a 7-0 win for England here back in 88. It was a build up to the horrendous European Championships for England, where I think they lost every single game. This is frequented mostly now by this lot. They were known as the Ducks, but they might as well be known as the Pigeons now. I believe this pile of brick, etc., is where the turnstiles would have originally sat. I've got no interest in going around the back there. It's what's this side, the business end. This is what fascinates me, because behind it's just building, but here is the remnants of an old pitch, so it just makes it truly unique. You don't see many of these about that are in this condition. It is just rows and rows of old chairs in a complete state, covered in pigeon poop. Some of them looks like I've even been possibly burnt out. I mean, that's not natural. That's, I guess, kids with nothing better to do. But why not pick up a camera and take pictures instead of coming in here and setting light to the place? You're just ruining it. And that's, as much as anything else, the reason why they don't want people in here. It's because of the little idiots that will come in and destroy the place. Either that, or the landowners come in and completely obliterate it and knock it down. I think, to be honest with you, what pretty much initially, for now, let's just say, has drove me away from the game is the price. I remember my team, obviously Watford, when I would go back in the 80s, 90s, etc., I would have, let's say, a £20 note. For that £20 note, I could get a train from Bletchley, get to a pub before the ground, have a pint, go into the ground, which cost me £4 to get in, get a programme for 50p, a burger at half time, watch the game, enjoy the game, win, lose or draw, come out, get another burger, another pint and go home, and still have a little bit of change of 20 notes. Nowadays, class as being a home fan, to even go to Watford itself, I'm probably talking a ton easy. So it's just not viable. There's other things like doing like this today. It's classed as a free day out. You just travel here, you park up, you go and have a look around and talk, and there will be people out there that'll be fascinated by this. That's for sure. And then of course you've got the player attitude. Things have changed probably just a little bit the other side of the pandemic. I noticed the attitudes of players have changed, not what they were, not the true professionals, people that would give their all, give it their bite, go out there. And sometimes you think, we know we're going to lose, but they would try so hard, and that's all that mattered. It didn't matter if you lost, it's just that they gave it a good go. Now they just turn up, they go home at the end of the day in a Lamborghini or the Ferrari, etc., and it doesn't matter. They've had their payday. It's a shame. It's just a sign of the times. See the Tannoy announcer there, that they would have turned around and said some of the players' names out loud as they're doing the team sheets or as a goal is scored. Dare say at some point I'm going to get pooed on, but there you go, all in the name of bringing you guys a video. So I'd imagine, I'd say that was your players' tunnel. Dressing rooms behind there. I've got no intention of going around the back there. That'll all just be full of where people have defecated. drug paraphernalia, alcohol, people setting light to it again, etc. Yeah, that's certainly got the element of what would have been the dressing rooms, the tunnel, come out and onto the pitch. For myself, in recent times, probably one of the most intriguing, fascinating, beautiful, if you was on the winning side, games to go and witness. I was at the FA Cup semi-final between Wolves and Watford. I think it was the 2019 season. We've been on a fantastic run, taking our chances, got to the semi-final, and the day itself, it was huge build up. Wolves fans were there in good voice and in force, same for ourselves. I think we both pretty much sold out our allocation, and the game just did not seem to go our way. To be honest with you, before probably the last 10 minutes we was considering going, we was 2-0 down, dead and buried, and then just that little bit of magic, a fantastic goal, drew us back into it with a chance, and we thought, you know what, we'll stay to the end just to applaud them off, go home, condole our losses with a pint or two, and then, I don't know, lucky trip, bit of play in the game, I guess. Deeney goes down, he gets a penalty, he buries that penalty, crowd for ourselves went wild, and then we thought, I don't know, something had changed, the dynamics of the game had changed. I think Wolves at that point probably felt themselves they were a beaten side, because it was in the bag for them, they were 2-0 up, and right at the death we pegged them back to 2-0. I think they'd even taken off their two main strikers at that point, thinking the game was in the bag, and I think they had a chance in the bit of extra time. We had a few, put ours away and won the game 3-2. Didn't mean nothing at the end of it, because obviously we were absolutely trounced in the final by Man City, but these days who isn't? And then of course that leads us to the events that I guess I've become more notorious for, that happened in the aftermath of the game. Not my fault at all, I just happened to be in, I guess, the wrong place at the right time for those around me. Anyway, I'll tell you that story. So we're going about our own business, we've enjoyed the day, the game's over, we've won, Wolves have lost, everything seems amicable. We're walking out, and then I didn't even notice it until I was confronted it in my face. A guy, a Wolves fan, shirted fan like myself, had just lost it. When he approached me, his eyes were gone, he was clearly on something. I don't know what, it wasn't alcohol, couldn't smell alcohol, but he basically went wild and went for the crowd, not just one or two people, he went for everyone, anyone standing in his way. He was just throwing wild punches, seemingly not connecting with any of them at all. And then I come face to face with him, just see pure hatred and anger in his eyes, and I'd never even met the guy. He threw a punch at me, nearly clipped me. As it come past, I've stepped back a bit, felt the wind go past as he swung. It probably would have busted me nose, possibly me jaw if he would have connected, and I just simply wasn't having it. And at that moment I turned, I was a bit gutted. I should have done a GoFundMe, because I was carrying a red flag at the time. Just as a memento, we all got them under our seats before the game, part of the 1881, handing them out to all the fans, etc. Do the wavy bit. I know it's all your clap your hands, stamp your feet, but we were a family club, and so as I said, I wasn't having any of it. I turned round, I don't know, it was a lucky first sort of punch that sort of disorientated him, and I just levered him with a second one. He stumbled back, fell on his arse, and then it's just nature, because he's had a go at everyone else. The youngsters all put the boot in. I went in to have a go at him again. He was still having it, and then I just sort of come conscious to the large drop of probably 30 or 40 feet of the flyover the other side of where we was having a little bit of a handbags, and he got up and he still wanted it. So I threw another jab, he went to throw one at me, missed me, we sort of spun round and he sort of went on his own way, and that's pretty much the story. However, I thought he was dead and buried. This was 4 years ago, and it just seems to be that Twitter has gone absolutely mental with something like 8 million views, and I struggle to even get 100 views on a fucking YouTube video. But it is what it is. I just thought I would tell my side of the story, because the amount of people that have turned around and said, "Is this you?" Yeah, it was me, but it's just a reaction thing. I mean, the guy no harm. I dare say he probably didn't think that to anybody else after. He just had a bit too much. The event got a bit too much for himself, and these things happen, I guess. Trying to find your seat would be a bit of an arduous task, that's for sure. You wouldn't even be able to get on the pitch from here. That's more of a natural barrier. You don't need your barriers up to stop the fans getting on the pitch with "Please do not step on the pitch." Just put thorns and bramble up, that'll stop them. Obviously I probably will walk around the back, but I don't want to upset these folks who live in them houses over there. I'm not about that. I said I'm not here to spray paint, set fire, go intruding. I'm just here telling a story. People have specific reasons why they support clubs. Myself and the club I support, being a Hornet, Watford. To me it was all about nothing to do with a family club, etc. It was just the fact that it was my nan's team. My nan was born in Whippingdale Road, which is around the back of the ground. So obviously I had the choice of that. So, and Watford was the easiest to get to for me, being on the Midlands train line. I don't even think it was called then. It might have been called the Thames line then back in the day. But getting to there, it was certainly the closest club. The next closest club would probably be Northampton, I guess, apart from your London clubs, because getting to Luton was a ball ache, and that's just not the done thing. Although I married into a Luton Town family and I love all of them to bits, but it's one of those things. So I had a choice. My grandfather, because he come from Bermondsey and that sort of area, he was Millwall. My other grandfather I never met, he was a Geordie, so I had a choice of Newcastle. My father's area, he was sort of Balham, Lambeth, so he said he was always turned around and said he was a Chelsea fan, although I don't think he ever went to a game. So I set my stall out and become a Hornet. I guess my favourite era, I'm now 52, yeah, born in 71. So my era that I loved more than anything else, and it seems stupid, maybe crazy, but some people can remember them times and they were good, was the time in the late 80s, early 90s of the inflatables. So you had your inflatable bananas, Grimsby had the inflatable fish, and it was just an exceptional time. Everyone just seemed to, there was trouble. I mean, I'd done the chicken run at West Ham. You went through all the grounds, and it was sort of, anyone who turns around and says about the football the old days, it was more of a dance. You had your banter, you had a bit of a dance about, someone got surged forward, someone got surged back. No one truly got hurt. Sometimes it was like Agincourt, but with glasses and beer bottles flying over. But they were good times. I've gone through it, and now just everything's changed. Everyone wants to get serious and give someone a proper good slap or a good kicking. It's just not worth it. Although Aylesbury United played England here at this ground, their biggest attendance ever was not actually here, but at a previous ground where they hosted Watford, and I believe that was 7,440 fans there that day. That was FA Cup first round 1952. Myself, I've actually played in front of more fans than that myself. Back in the day, I can't remember what year it was. Might have been 2017 possibly. trying to remember.
Okay, I'm a big lump of a guy, but I'm a bit of a baller. I can do things with the football, even though my size stops me from running around. I did play 3 or 4 times a week just before the pandemic to get myself a little bit fitter. With TAP, we was a great little group of people, both guys and girls, playing football, training, etc. 4 times a week. I got player of the month on one occasion. They've just recently had a Legends game which I would have played in, but unfortunately I felt pretty ill recently and I got a procedure in a hospital on Saturday. Ironically, that's the reason why when you're seeing this, it goes out, all my vlogs go out on a Saturday, but you're seeing this and I'm doing this on the bank holiday which preceded the King's coronation. Anyway, I digress. Back in 2017 I was part of MK Set. So MK Set was part of the MK Dons. Never supported the team. I don't know, there's something, if you support another club, it's very, very difficult, even if they're on your doorstep, to even grasp what it's called. We name them as Franchise FC. It's just a joke. They are pretty much brilliantly run, to be quite frank and honest about it. The stand, the ground itself is not quite there. I've seen the Hornets play Spurs there, I've seen England games there, and it just falls short because they're probably not used to it. But the facilities themselves and the way the officials are generally really are lovely people. Anyway, somehow I got involved with the MK Set as a walking footballer. I become the club captain, and it was in the April time of that season that the MK Dons were actually playing away from home. They were at the county ground, the home of Swindon Town. Now, they played their game, and at half time there was an exhibition game. That exhibition game, I said, I walked out as captain in front of the rest of the players, walked down the touchline in front of the main stand, and everyone's standing up on one bit and turned around and said, "You fat B," and whatever. So I just turned around like you do, just applauded them. Then the whole stand gets up and does it. And it was just a case of we were hiding in the corner, because just at that bit, just before half time, the Dons got a penalty, put the penalty away, made it 1-0 at half time. We thought, oh no, and we're right in front of the main stand, so we're getting all sorts of abuse. Anyway, we get out on the pitch, they've got the sprinklers on, we're spraying the ball about left, right and centre, and the ref calls to us to start the game. It's just like a little exhibition thing. I think the game lasted about 11 minutes. So we started the game. I can't even remember who had kick-off. It's a bit of a blur, to be honest with you, but after 5 minutes I got a lucky break. The ball bounced between the defender's legs. I played as a striker. It's come up and I've sort of half volley daisy cutted it straight down the keeper's throat, and he just couldn't keep it out. Bounced off him and it went in the back of the net. I didn't really know what to do. I was sort of thinking, do I celebrate or not? All the MK Dons fans in the top corner, they were jumping up and down and just celebrating it, and I just sort of, okay, got on with it. But from that moment we was under the cosh for the rest of the game. Mark, our goalkeeper, he basically had the sprinkler system running up his backside the whole game, and he was soaked, but he kept it all out right till the death, and they got an equaliser. The game ended as a 1-1 draw, and we left the field to a standing ovation of 8,000 people. It was brilliant. And the game itself between the Dons and Swindon also ended up as a 1-1 draw. We got on our own little team bus, made our way back to the Milton Keynes, stopping at a service station, and really enjoyed a brilliant day.
Right, I think I shall just have a look round the back, show you what the sign of things are like round there. Then my way over to the other terrace area over there, and make my way out, and I just seem to sort of ponder and look in the distance, because unfortunately my sister left us in January, and there's a crematorium just the other side of that field. And looking into this place last night, I just sort of sunk and realised that that's where Deb was cremated, because she had a pure cremation, no one could go. So I suppose it's sentimental, and I'm doing this for her. It's sort of, to do these places, to walk in here, somewhere like this, a bit eerie, and coming here by yourself. But in love and memory of her, I'm prepared to do it. She gives me the strength to carry on. Okay, I walk out past the old turnstiles, try and briefly make my way up here. Said I'm no interest in upsetting anyone. Not supposed to be here, not supposed to be on the grounds at all, but there's no barriers. So, and the people that are supposed to be regenerating this place, although it hasn't been touched for 17 years pretty much, and paid £800,000 for the pleasure of it, they've done nothing with it. So it's one of them, it's like a field of dreams. If you leave it, we will come. That's the explorers, the explored nature within us all. I've got no interest in going inside this unless there was a massive open door with plenty of light in, because it's just too dangerous. You're not supposed to be here, and if I fell and had an accident, I'll be in real trouble, and I would deserve everything I got with regards of paying a fine, etc. But this, just walking around on a road area, they come up to me, ask me to leave, that's exactly what I do. I said this is an area where people have got in, but I've got no interest in going there whatsoever. You're asking for trouble, you go in there, it's dark, you could get cut, and as I said, what is there to see? Nothing. So for me, this is more about making my way round and having a look. I think these are more old turnstiles, and have a view. So some people come along and find people, they turn around and say, off you go. Sometimes the police have even turned up here. But most of us not interested in causing any issues. There are those out here that would like to see this place burned to the ground. It is just their thing, little arsonists. Even the spray painters, you don't mind them so much, but it's those who truly trash the place and make it unbearable for those who live the other side of the wall there. But to be honest with you, this being on my bucket list, I've enjoyed it. I can tick it off, and maybe I got friends that live up in Scotland, possibly go and see some of the old brilliant ones like Kafkin, etc. We're pretty much open to the elements. Right, make our way to the old stand, which I believe was probably going to be used by away supporters. Either that one there or that one there would have been. Have a general look along there, take a photo or two and pan this across the main stand, and that's it, job done. I tell you what, the squelchiness underfoot, it's actually quite strange. People think that playing surfaces, football pitches, are like a bowling green. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they're rolled and they've got a little bit of squelchiness and it's got a grain to the grass. You see it rolled in certain ways. That's all to depict the style of play. Some pitches are long, some are short. Some teams play with wingers, some like the long ball. It's just the way it is. An old box. I wonder if that had a telephone in it. And that is your old terrace. So no need to climb in there, and as you can see there's huge slabs of concrete. I don't know, some of the guys that might have watched the team here over the years, they might know a lot better than me, because there is a huge pile of concrete sitting there. Is that anything to do with the club? Was that an old stand? There's a shopping trolley over there as well. And let's pan and have a look at the main stand from this area. As you can see, as I'm panning in, you can see the floodlights at the top as well. And this is the condition of the stand looking from this side. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. A good look at the ground itself, what remains of it. Wasn't interested in going in the belly of it, going inside in the dark with everything that could have been lurking in there. Not people so much, but sharp objects, things that could have caused me harm. There's no point in that. There's no fun in going to hospital when I've got to go to hospital at the end of it anyway. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. As you are watching this, I'm having a procedure done in the hospital. After that, I've got a day of recuperation, and then next week it's going to be Rachel's 50th, so we're going to go to London for a couple of days, and I'll just do a bit of vlogging around there, where we're staying in a hotel, the surrounding area. Probably do a vlog called Big Ben at 10 or something, so go out there around 10 o'clock, watch it chime, talk around that area, the Houses of Parliament, etc., Westminster Bridge. We're going to see Back to the Future, West End stage show. That'll be on a Saturday. We've got the rest of the family coming down for that, and it should be good. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your time in watching all these vlogs. This was a bucket list thing for me. I no longer have to do anything like this for the foreseeable future, but I grabbed the opportunity while I could, and as I said, there was nothing stopping me getting in. No barriers, nothing over this way turning around and saying you must not enter. So it's a right away as far as I'm concerned. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend and have a good week yourselves. Bye for now. I'll see you in the movies. Take it easy. And the best thing to do for you guys is to show you the way I got in by going out and filming that way on the way out. So it's just through Bushy's area. I could have gone immediately to me right and gone in through there onto the pitch, but just for cinematic effect I made my way through there, and this is it. There is no barrier, there is no sign saying anything. There's your main road, that's Buckingham Rd. A quick step onto these, get onto the plinth, and you're in. There's a little bit of a dip here. I believe that's the River Tame to the side there. I'll go and have a brief look before we go. But yeah, it's just bridge there by the lamppost, a little dip that comes down through here, and that's your ground entrance there. Good luck guys if you're coming this way.